bookish people. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing my um March to April reading wrap, and I read quite a few books. I'll be completely honest, in my TBR jar video where the TBR jar picked all the books I was going to read in April, I did not read all those books. But did we know this was going to happen? I think we did. I so I picked 6 books from that category, and I was like, there's just no way. Like, the most I finish in a month is 3 to 4 books, and there was no way I was gonna finish 6 in 1 month, especially because I feel like April is pretty short for a month, so I'm like, why was I expecting myself to do that? I'll admit, in the process of doing that, I did get myself into a book slump, so I just had to stop forcing myself to read a certain number of books because I don't need to meet the quota. I made that video to be fun. And if I don't meet the quota, whatever even that is, where I don't finish all those books, like, it's fine because it's my channel and I don't have to force myself to read a certain amount of books, every month. So, like, if you're like me and you feel like you have to force yourself to read a certain amount of books every month and you put yourself in a book slump, don't do that because it's bad and you don't need to fit a certain quota, okay? It is perfectly fine to not read a certain amount of books every month. Anyway, I need to stop yapping and let's get into it. Alright, so the first book I technically started in February, but I ended it in March, so I'm gonna count this as my March read, and that's The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. Um, let's talk about this one. I didn't like it. I did not like The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I know. Boo from the audience. I couldn't help myself. Like, I really thought I was going to like it, okay? I feel like this book is everything I like. It's clean, cozy fantasy with some romance. And it takes place on this little island. For those of you who don't know, this book is basically about our main character. I can't remember her name for the life of me. But she ends up like having to move back to her hometown, which is this island called the island of Caltray. And the reason she has to do that is because she used to be a librarian, but the library burns down at the beginning of the book, and we don't really know why, but she's like kind of forced to leave. And there she finds this like farmer, and there's like kind of some love and tension between them, but like she ends up opening a spell shop on the island of Caltray, but she, like, instead of calling it a spell shop, she calls it a jam shop because spells are illegal there. And I thought I was gonna like it because, like, that sounds like something I would like. It literally sounds like cozy fantasy. I thought it was gonna kind of have like Howl's Moving Castle vibes, and it did kind of have some Ghibli vibes to it for sure. Another reason I thought I was gonna like this book is because there's sentient objects. I love sentient objects in books. I think it makes it so fun. We have this talking plant named Kaz, and he's super cute, and I really thought, and I loved him in the book. But the reason you might be like, well, Angela, like, you're talking about this book like you liked it, like, why did you rate it so low? It's because it was boring, I'll be so honest. And maybe it was boring because I'm in a book slump, or maybe it was just boring, I don't know. I think this book was one of those books where it had everything I wanted in it, and it had like the perfect setup, and that kind of made it more disappointing whenever it didn't meet my expectations. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad book, or like I wouldn't recommend it to someone necessarily, because I think it's something where like it didn't meet my expectations, but there could be someone out there where it does meet their expectations, and like I just for whatever reason found it boring because of, maybe because I am in a book slump, or maybe I just found it boring. So that's why I think I would still recommend this book to people, because I still think it's really cute. I just personally found it boring, and I thought the plot was like really dragging and really slow. But I also like don't want to bash Sarah Beth Durst as an author, obviously, because I still really like her books, and I still thought that I still think she's a really good author. Like, I still think that she had like a lot of really great aspects to her writing. Again, I just personally didn't vibe with this book, which is fine. Like, you don't have to vibe with every book you read. It was just a little disappointing because I wish I liked it, but beggars can't be choosers, so it's not a big deal. All right, the next book I read was The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I really liked this book. Did I rate it as highly as I rated The Hawthorne Legacy, which is the second book in the series? No. I gave this one, did I give it 3 or 4 stars? I don't know. Editor me will put it somewhere in the video. I'm pretty sure I only gave it about 4 stars, which like isn't bad. It's not bad at all. I still really liked this book. Honestly, it was still a fun time. As always, I love Jennifer Lynn Barnes' writing style, and I think like these are really good books to help in a book slump. For those of you who don't know, the Inheritance Games series is basically about our main character Avery Kylie Grams, and one day she randomly inherits. She gets a letter in the mail that basically says that she inherits this mansion and this fortune of this man who's now dead, and she never knew this man in her life. She never knew she had any relations to this man, so she basically goes from rags to riches, and she has to live in this mansion for a year to inherit all the money and the mansion. And there she meets five no yes, five hot brothers who, are trying to also help figure out the secret and the mystery to it. And some of it is for their own gains because they're like, why is this little person, like, why is this girl on our estate? So like definitely some of this is out of their own gains because like they want the inheritance for themselves, but also later on they do grow to love her, especially one specifically. For those of you who've read the book, if you know, you know. But I did really like this book. One of my favorite characters, Jamie Jameson Hawthorne, he shows up really repeatedly in this book, and I really liked that, and I really liked how we explored the relationship between, I don't know if this is a spoiler. Skip ahead if you don't want to be spoiled, but we got to explore the relationship between Avery and Jamie a lot in this book, and I really liked that because I am an Avery and Jamie shipper. I think that they're so perfect for each other. I thought it was also really cool because we meet this other character in the book that is kind of like a plot twist, I would say. Like she kind of just shows up out of the blue and she creates this like really big plot twist and dynamic in the book, and it just made it really interesting. And the way it ended was really interesting too. Like the way it ended, I was really not expecting it the way it to end that way. I definitely feel like with these books, I always think I can expect the twists and turns. I'm always like, oh, like surely at this point, like I've read enough of Jennifer Lynn Barnes' writing style that like I know, like I can predict the next plot twist, but I really couldn't. Like with this book, it actually did kind of gag me a little bit. I won't even lie. Like there were definitely, I feel like I've only really caught one plot twist in this book. Like the other plot twist, I was like, wow, it did kind of gag me a little bit. I was not expecting that. So it was a fun time. Would I say it was like phenomenal? No. I don't know what it was about the second book. I felt like personally, like the second and the first book were phenomenal. I just think something about those books, like the way they're written, was beautiful. I still liked this book. I just think it fell into like third book syndrome where it kind of just like was lagging a little bit. I still liked it though. I won't even lie. I'm probably still going to finish the series. It's just like I kind of wish it was 5 stars because I'm now in a book slump. But it's okay because I'm sure the other books in the series will be a 5 star. Like I rated the first and second book a 5 and a 4 star, so I still really like this book altogether. And then the next book I read was Sirens and Sea Captains by Courtney Denzelback, which is an arc that was sent to me. So thank you so much, Courtney, if you're watching this. I actually really did appreciate it. I love being sent arcs by authors. I think it's so much fun. And this one was really cute, and it literally like took me a day to finish. It was really short. It's literally the cutest little romance. It's about this girl who it's like kind of set in the Regency era, and she comes from this like very wealthy family, and one day she's arranged in this marriage to this sea captain. She doesn't really know why she's arranged to the sea captain, but um what the sea captain does is he goes out on sea and he kind of like hunts monsters and sirens in the sea, hence why it's called Sirens and Sea Captains. And because there's kind of like this forced proximity and this arranged marriage between them, and she doesn't really know why her father specifically chose a sea captain for her to be married to, because she remembers in the past her father saying how much he hated sea captains. So she's like, why am I arranged, to be married to this man? and like this guy, he like is it's kind of like a grumpy ex sunshine relationship, which I really liked, and there's like a lot of tension between them. And I would like, I think ever since reading the Mirror Visitor series, I've just learned that arranged marriage is probably my favorite romance trope. I literally think it is. I don't know what it is, but arranged marriage is so good. I think it's because you still have the forced proximity. Oh my gosh, I cannot speak right now. You have the tension and the angst, but it's like it's not like forced tension and angst. It's like a way where it's like these two characters don't really know each other in the beginning, but then they end up loving each other, and at that point there can't really be any room for miscommunication or them breaking up, because at that point they're married. I think that's why I like it. I honestly would say I like arranged marriage tropes more than I like enemies to lovers, which is crazy. I still like enemies to lovers. I just feel like I see so much enemies to lovers within the romance drama, but like I don't see a lot of arranged marriage tropes, and I loved it so much. And it was also completely clean, which I love supporting a fellow clean book author. I'm part of this group on Instagram, which you don't know I do have an Instagram. It's called the Page Princess, but it's basically called like the best closed door romance little group chat, and they like send you arcs and links to like clean authors. And I don't know, like I signed up for this arc because I just really want to support a fellow author. She's also a pretty small, pretty indie author, and I thought it was cute. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5-star rating. I thought it was really cute. The only like the one critique I would give to this book is just that I wish it was less rushed, because it felt like everything happened so quickly in this book. Like it felt like we got to our conclusion pretty quickly and our plot twist pretty quickly, because there is a plot twist in there, and we got to like other things in the book pretty quickly. And I kind of wish it was longer, because I feel like it could have prolonged the angst between the sea captain and her a little bit more, but it was still cute. And a part of me is wondering if the reason it was short is because I think it's supposed to be YA romance, which I feel like makes sense as to why it's shorter. And also, I think it's supposed to be fluff, and I feel like fluff doesn't have, it's weird because earlier I literally said it had angst and tension, but like it's pretty fluffy for like an angst and tension book. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like there is still angst and tension in there, but I also feel like this is kind of a fluff romance, just a little bit. Which like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I love reading fluff romance. I think it's really fun. I just like I kind of wish that we got a bit more of like this story between Captain Devonshire, which is the name of the sea captain, and her. I kind of just wish we like just prolonged their story a bit more. But again, I think it was meant to be written in that way, and overall, I still thought it was really, really cute, and it was a really a fun time. I think it was like a nice palate cleanser because again, I am now in a book slump, so please send prayers to your girl and give me any book recs in the comments for being in a book slump, because that's what I am in right now. But I really feel like it, it definitely did help with that a little bit, and I liked that it was a romance. I thought it was really, really cute. So yeah, I mean, I had a fun time. All right, and then the next book I read was Flame Fury by CFE Black. Guys, this is my like first 5-star rating from March to April. Oh my gosh, and it was a long time coming too. It was so good. It was so good. Guys, you need to read Flame Theory right now. If you don't know, Flame Theory is about this girl, right? We have our female main character. She comes from this like very underclass world. They call them the bottom dwellers. So she kind of like lives in the slums a bit, and she's always dreamed of dragon riding, but she can't because it's only for the elitist people in this society that we come from. So instead, what she does is she spends all her time hanging around dragons by basically picking up their poo, because she's a stable girl for the dragons. I know it's kind of silly. And one day, this boy randomly lands into her stables, and she's like, "Who is this guy?" Finds out later he's the Duke's son, and he kind of gets pissed with her because he's like, "Go away, stable girl, like why are you here?" um then this count comes up to her and he's like, "Hey, I saw the way you handled that dragon and the Duke's son. I want you to spy at this elite college where the Duke's son, who, which by the way, his name is Rushling Covington, is staying, and I want you to see why only the elites get to do the dragon riding. Like, is it something that's rigged? Should people who are like of lower class in society be able to dragon ride because that's what she's from. She's from a lower class in society. But the twist about this book is all the dragons they ride in this book have no flame. Like their flame gets cut off at birth. But she gets bonded with a wild dragon because this wild dragon has flame. And like people in this book are like, oh my gosh, this is like really rare. Like no one's ever been able to bond with a wild dragon before, and so it kind of like makes her special, and her and Rush go on this journey together to kind of like understand the theory of the flame, hence why it's called flame theory. And I love this book so much. This is enemies to lovers done so well, by the way. I feel like I haven't read a good enemies to lovers in a long time. This was like done literally amazing and beautiful. Also, if you haven't seen my recent video, my reading vlog, I feel like I talked way more about this book in that video, so I would recommend go watching that. But yes, it's enemies to lovers done so well, so beautifully, so incredibly amazing. I literally get and also like it I'm just so in love with Rush, like literally. Most of the time I don't like a blonde MMC, but I liked a blonde I liked a blonde MMC in this book. I don't know, I feel like most of the time I fall for like the brunette characters, you know, but like oh my gosh, guys, he's so literally like I'm so in love with him, you know? I feel like he definitely has made the status of becoming book boyfriend for sure. I just think like there are just like some parts in this book where like I just kept giggling and laughing because I just thought he was so funny and like cute and like loyal and protective and just like so perfect. I just think she wrote him so well. Like this was a woman written by a man written by a woman. I said that backwards. Oh well. And I just think he's so perfect and incredible and amazing. And I also loved our female main character. I feel like she wasn't boring. I feel like usually when I read books about where there's like a female main character, like the male main character gets like all the personality and the female main character doesn't. But like she was super interesting. I really liked her. It also is like completely spice free, but it's spice free, but it still has like enough angst and tension and yearning and like romance between them to where it is still spice free, but like it's not like lacking in romance, if that makes any sense. I still think like you can very much feel the romance between these two characters. Also, I just love the world of this elite like dragon riding academy. Like I really wanted to ride the dragons while reading this book so badly. I started rewatching How to Train Your Dragon Race to the Edge. If you guys haven't seen that mini TV series, please go watch it. It's so good. But I started rewatching that when I was reading this book because I just like felt the dragon vibes and I was like, man, I wish I could be a dragon rider. Just imagine how fun that would be. And it was literally perfect. It was literally perfect. Did it heal me from my book slump? No, I wouldn't say it healed me from my book slump, but it was still absolutely a 5 to 6 star read. Um, Also, like I had never heard of CFE Black before, and I love supporting again pretty indie clean authors, and I just think she did this book beautiful, and I loved the book so much. All right, and then the next book I want to talk about is Nightfall by Shannon Messenger. Guys, I loved Nightfall so much. I cannot express to you. First of all, I'm so happy that we got more of Keith's like perspective in this book because Keith is my baby and he is my favorite character. Second of all, I've been reading this series since I was 14 years old, the Keeper of the Lost City series, and I'm now 20. So it really like tells you that these books stand the test of time. I'm kind of getting emotional talking about this crap. I kind of feel like crying. These books are I can't describe it. Like they're really not just kids books. I feel like you look at them and you think like, oh, like these are just some silly kids books about elves who have magical superpowers, but like they're really not. Like they are so beautifully written. I think they tell a lot about prejudice and kind of racism and war and other really important topics in society that like I don't get seen. Well, I guess I do get seen talked about in other YA books, but I feel like the way Shannon Messenger does it is very timeless and incredible. I think she knows how to write a story. I'm so excited for the last book in the series. It's coming out next summer, so I have to finish the entire series this year. That way I can be prepared for the last and final book. And I'm praying that So Keefe is a thing. Like, I'm praying that Sophie and Keefe get together because they are my children and I love them. And if they don't end up together, I'm gonna be so mad at Shannon Messenger. But yes, I read this book and I loved it, and it kind of destroyed me near the end. Like, the cliffhanger it left on, I was like, oh wow. Like, and then there were some scenes with Keith where I was just like, oh my baby. But like, no, I loved it. I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared for flashback because I heard people say flashback is like a lot to handle, but I'm gonna try. But yes, it was a 5-star rating. It was so good. Right, and then the last book I read was Burning the Ashes by Rachel Watcher. I know I said I wasn't gonna read this in my TBR jar video, and I said I was gonna read Flashback instead, but I ended up reading this because the arc was due sooner than I thought, and I really liked it. I think I gave this a 4 to 5 star rating. It was really good. Honestly, I was remembering a bunch of things about Playing Fire that I didn't remember before because I had read Playing Fire so long ago. Playing with Fire, lol. Um, it is amazing. Like, this book has like a really nice found family. It has a really great like magic system. It has like all these like plot holes and twists and turns in the books, and I think she is such an underrated author. She honestly, like, I feel like her writing style reminds me a lot of Shannon Messenger, and if you haven't seen the Keeper of the Lost City books on my shelf, Shannon Messenger is one of my all-time favorite fantasy authors. But I just think she did such an amazing job with this book. I just think absolutely amazing. I'm so happy I was sent this arc. I love being sent arcs by authors. But yeah, that was book number 6 for this. All right, so that was all the books that I read from March to April. I say I think these were pretty good. I don't think it was as good as my January to February because those were like literally mostly 5-star reads, and I also wasn't in a book slump at that time. And so I felt like when I did that video, I like had way better reads, but these reads were still really good. Like, I feel like I still had at least 2 5-star books, and that's good enough for me. And even the books that weren't 5-star, like, I still feel like I enjoyed them overall, maybe minus the spell shop. But I mean, you know, we can't always have a great reading month. You win some, you lose some, and either way, I still thought it was pretty good. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and let me know what books you've read in the past 2 months because I'm curious to know, especially any books that helped you get out of a reading slump because your girl is in a reading slump. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Bye.